Welcome to a muzzled chat. I'm excited. Folks, you are in for a treat today. I dove more into this Ivan RAKLIN fella and everything he spoke out on and they're looking to do. And this is nothing other than extremely exciting and amazing news, great news, glorious news. So buckle up, enjoy this episode, and darn it, let's do our best to send this to the freaking masses, because truly everyone in America must watch this and listen to this now. So it seems these individuals are ready. They sound ready and want to incorporate everything that was done to essentially the good guys back upon the corrupt evil that has seemingly up to this point got away with it all, got away with everything. No accountability. This is just so huge. It's time to tear down this two-tiered system entirely. I want you to remember the precedence has already been set. No more rules for thee and not for me. No more hierarchy. No more dictatorship. It's time things function and operate as they were designed. And it seems as though plans are in place to get things back in order. Now, before we dive into this clip in its entirety, let's read up a bit on Ivan RAKLIN's background here just a little bit. Ivan RAKLIN was born on February 29, 1976. He is a retired lieutenant and former Green Beret who served 25 years in the U.S. military, including time in the intelligence and special operation communities. He has also worked as a civilian and contractor in the Department of Defense and Defense Threat Reduction Agency. RAKLIN has had a diverse career, serving in the 5 states, 5 continents, and speaking 5 languages, including Russian, Spanish, Arabic, French, and English. He has held various positions, including Green Beret Commander, countering ISIS in the Middle East, the Taliban in Afghanistan, MS-13 in Central America, and countering Russia aggression as a military diplomat in the Republic of Georgia. I'll admit, as a man, it feels as though I can't hold a candle to this man. Not that we're to tear ourselves down by comparison. I just want to take a second and applaud and thank this man for his service. In addition to his military career, RAKLIN has also run for political office, seeking the Republican nomination for the Senate in Virginia in 2018. Oh boy, we ready? Buckle up. This is so good. Every time I watch this thus far, I take a little more from it. So let's dive right in. I suppose to set the stage a little bit more, it'd be nice to know it looks as though they might be in the house here. Clearly, I need to brush up on my journalistic skills as well, providing just a little bit more information. I'm realizing that now. However, to just keep it raw and get it out there and get just enough and hopefully leave people with, questions of their own versus it entirely being answered is also a good thing too. Because this could possibly stem folks doing their own research. And we need that. So he gets confronted by some reporter. It's just an amazing encounter. This man's demeanor, he's clearly educated. He is not intimidated. The actual energy he admits in this, I guess you could say, interview to an extent, interaction, this conversation, I admire and respect. And as a man, I'm striving to get better with just being based in the facts, being based in God and truths, and not allowing my own, let's just say, character defects and feelings to get in the way of sharing a message and mucking up the opportunity and seizing that moment in time. Okay, that's enough. Let's get this rolling.
I guess I didn't know who would be here, but I just asked what brought you here today, why you decided to come.
What's your name and what organization are you with?
Zoe Chase.
Zoe Chase.
Mm-hmm. And the show is called This American Life. It's a radio show.
And what radio program is it on?
It's its own show. It airs all over the country.
Who sponsors it? Is it on what program?
It's a for-profit company. It's its own independent company. It airs on public radio stations.
So it's on NPR?
Well, yeah, it's on public radio, but it's not an NPR program.
Great questions to get to the bottom as to, like, hey, who are you talking to here? Is this potentially friend or foe? That's important.
It's its own company.
Okay. So what is your question? Have you talked to me before?
Yeah, we met. It was like 2 years ago.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Which Reawaken?
It was the first one I went to was in Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I was in Nashville and that was not the first one.
No, it was my first one. It wasn't the first one. But there was like a hotel meet and greet afterwards with flight.
And you're based out of where?
New York.
What brings you down here when you have that trial up there? That you
I don't get to cover the trial. That's not my job.
How do they allocate that?
Well,
like, do you get tasked to come down here?
Not really. I gotta get to make my own choices, but our show is like a documentary show more. It's like a magazine.
Okay.
And so we don't do breaking news. So
do you want to do a sit-down, long-form interview with me?
This gets so
actually,
good.
I was just going to ask you kind of like what brought you here, like why you were here and what you made of it. But we could.
I'll put a post up about it with that question. And then you can follow that on X, Telegram, Truth, Getter, my Rumble channel.
Right.
And all the other ones. And I can provide you that.
I just followed you on Twitter. So I was like,
okay. Which one? Ivan RAKLIN?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because the other one's still censored by Brian Alton at the FBI.
Wow. Censored.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
So my RAKLIN account is still being censored by the FBI's Brian Alton, Laura Demlow, Joe Pientka, and Elvis Chan.
Whoa. So you started a new account?
No, that still exists because it was reinstated. Those are the individuals that are at the FBI that run the censorship industrial complex on behalf of this illegitimate regime.
I apologize.
Do you know those names? Reinstated.
Whoa. So you started a new account?
No, that still exists because it was reinstated. Those are the individuals that are at the FBI that run the censorship industrial complex on behalf of this illegitimate regime. Do you know those names?
No.
I can provide you much detail on. They were the ones also involved in the original illegal Crossfire Hurricane spying operation on General Flynn, Carter Page, George Papadopoulos, and Paul Manafort.
Strong words.
I have receipts on every single individual. That's why they haven't really come after me yet, because if they bring me in, the entire regime comes crumbling down.
That is powerful. But it's more than just the receipts. He has how smart and wise the way he's dispersed the information out there. He'll get to it. Because my initial thought is like, this man needs to up his security. And we must all protect men like this. However, he's an intelligent, clearly, because look at his background. So he's no fool. And this is just real exciting. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Well,
so they are scared of me, not the other way around.
Ooh.
That makes more sense. You, on your Twitter bio, I noticed today it said Secretary of Retribution.
Yep.
I just wondered what that meant.
Yeah, that means that I will guarantee consequences for a list of at least 350 individuals that are on my deep state target list.
Guaranteed.
Okay.
And when you read that deep state target list, remember, I'm an attorney and a retired Green Beret. Okay?
That I know. Well, that I might be interested in talking with you more about is your deep state target list. if you have time.
Elon Musk has it. Michael Schellenberger has it. Matt Taibbi has it. The Judiciary Committee has it. The Weaponization Committee has it. The Oversight Subcommittee that is part of the House Administration Committee has it. The House Freedom Caucus has it. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, likely has it. And it's just a matter of time for a joint press conference to take place between Speaker Johnson and Elon Musk to go ahead and disclose and release the Twitter direct messages of those individuals on my deep state target list, proving
to the public. So he has many protections in place.
Release the Twitter direct messages of those individuals on my deep state target list, proving the seditious conspiracy going back to 2016, the illegal spying operation on the Trump campaign. You're also going to find the involvement of Mike Pence and his chief of staff, Joshua Pitcock, in that conspiracy, along with Josh Pitcock's wife, Catherine Seaman, who was the senior Russia analyst for Peter Strzok, who was one of the two individuals that was deployed by Jim Comey and Andrew McCabe to get General Flynn to lie or to get him fired, as per Bill Priestap's notes, which was the Deputy Assistant Director of Counterintelligence at the FBI.
That's a long list.
I can go in much more detail, but that's generally the crux of it.
Do you get to meet with Jim Jordan and talk about this stuff?
I meet with everybody.
All these guys?
Every single member that you think I talk to or may talk to, I talk to them.
And what do you guys talk about? Like, what's the reason that you talk to them?
Everything that I put out publicly, I also provide that to them.
And I guess
I don't do anything behind the sheet, like behind closed doors.
I guess what I mean is, like, what are you hoping to get out of talking to them? Like, why you do it?
I want to guarantee Elon Musk discloses the direct messages for the mother of all Twitter files, so that the entire country can see what just occurred to them, starting from the illegal spying operation, the corrupt DOJ and FBI. The raid on Mar-a-Lago was to seize the evidence that was declassified by Donald Trump in the last few hours of his first term, which involved the Crossfire Hurricane details, which would list all the names that I've mentioned so far. Whether it was Lisa Page, who was Andy McCabe's chief counsel at the time, along with Peter Strzok, a guy by the name of Joseph Pientka III, who is currently the number 3 individual at the San Francisco field office. So you have the special agent in charge, you have a ASAC, Assistant Special Agents in charge, and then you have the ASAC for counterintelligence. That guy is a guy by the name of Joseph Pientka III, who was the second agent that was deployed to interview General Flynn on January 24th, 2017, in order to get General Flynn fired or to get him to lie. That was an entrapment, and that's the same agent that was deployed in August of 2016 to the Trump campaign to do what they call a counterintelligence briefing, a defensive one, but with the secondary purpose in order to, and this was him, Pientka, along with Trump, Chris Christie. You know that Chris Christie's attorney during his Bridgegate scandal was Christopher Wray?
I didn't know that.
Well, now you know. And then the third person in that meeting was a guy by the name of General Flynn. Joe Pientka was deployed by the Crossfire Hurricane leadership, authorized by the general counsel at the time, Jim Baker, who then later became the Twitter 1.0 number 2 lawyer, to coordinate the censorship industrial complex, to cover up and censor and suspend those individuals that exposed their corruption, okay? And it just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting the cover-ups. This is just they're trying to take out Trump now because they were able to take out their first existential threat, which was General Flynn.
Right.
Because he would have been the first one to go ahead and expose this level of corruption because he knows the system. Now that Trump knows the system after being 4 years in it, he is now an existential threat to that very DOJ, the national security apparatus. Remember, 39.
Now, I want to take a second here. Back out of this. Actually read another document. Because there's a reason. There's an order to things here. A lot of people, even patriots, are over the top harsh regarding Donald Trump. Well, why didn't he go after the deep state harder? Well, it would have came across like a dictator. It would have riled people up. So many of us were just not informed enough. We weren't in the know enough for action like that to be taken. So I'd like to take a second and just read this. It's time to address this commonly used anti-Trump talking point about his inability to drain the swamp in his first term. Trump's first term was completely hamstrung by the Mueller investigation, and the MSM had the public convinced Trump was literally a Russian agent. As soon as he got past the Russia hoax, They released the biological weapon, shut down the world, and stole the election. Evil is fighting tooth and nail. This is saying it very blatantly, boldly, but clearly. And we all know, if we're being honest with ourselves, and if you have any questions, like, research. The truth will set us free. If Trump would have gone in day one and started arresting people, he would have looked like a totalitarian dictator and would have caused massive uprising and legitimately a civil war. The public were not even awake at this point. Not enough of the public. I'd venture to say some of you were. The same people criticizing Trump for not draining the swamp didn't even believe the swamp was real back in 2016. The MSM still had the overwhelming majority of Americans under their spell. It's very true. So while it's really easy for RFK Jr. supporters to criticize Trump now, the majority of them didn't even know this war existed with the deep state and was going on. And they would have criticized Trump for draining the swamp if he did and called him a dictator. This isn't some basic game of checkers. It's not even chess. It's 3D chess, as has been talked about. The world wasn't awake then. Now they are. This is why Trump is going to finish the job this time, because the public has been shown how deep the corruption goes. They are ready. Now, I don't want us patriots to get too comfortable and just sit back, enjoy the show, and pop the popcorn, because the reality of this to be effective, there needs to be proper support. You could see how effective evil's bullhorn has been with even the side stages, the alphabet mafia, pro-choice, DEI, and then distracting with wars, the invasion, white supremacy, ramping up racism. We got to see past evil's tactics and unite. And dang it, let's just say, if Trump were to fail, we can't rely on any one man. We must seize this moment. We have far more power than we all even understand, and especially through God. Especially through God. Okay, let's dive back in.
9 individuals on the very DOJ after being 4 years in it. He is now an existential threat to that very DOJ, the national security apparatus. Remember, 39 individuals on Mass General Flynn. Okay, one of them was Jamie Raskin's wife, Sarah Raskin. Totally unlawful unmasking. Look that up.
Okay.
The 51 individuals that said the Biden laptop had all the earmarks of a Russian information campaign, where your colleagues over at Politico published that on their website. One of those 51 individuals is John Brennan. Another one is a guy by the name of David Buckley. David Buckley ended up becoming the staff director for Liz Cheney's and Benny Thompson and Nancy Pelosi's January 6th cover-up committee.
What a
It's a
club.
pretty small world, it sounds like.
So David Buckley was tasked to create a list and do his deep state target list of political targets. So now it's my turn. I have a deep state target list, and I'm coming for all of them. And what does that mean when I say coming for all of them? It means the most legal, moral, and ethical consequences to the maximum, to include the maximum punishment for treason. I personally guarantee that they're going to face those consequences. And you can take a look at that list.
Like, are you going to sue them? Is that what you would do?
Just wait for it.
Okay.
You will see it. It will be so visible for the entire world to see and hear. I'll give you some examples.
Okay.
I'm going to incorporate the precedents that's already been set. So we're going to incorporate what was done to General Flynn. We're going to incorporate what was done to Steve Bannon, what was done to Peter Navarro, what was done to Mike Lindell, what was done to Scott Perry. Translation: expect to see live stream swatting raids of every single individual on that deep state target list, because the precedence has already been set.
Right.
And with
Remember
that,
when Mike Lindell in the Hardee's parking lot, the FBI went and conducted armed robbery of him in Minnesota? Remember when Peter Navarro was swatted in an airport? Remember when Steve Bannon, on multiple occasions within the U.S. Capitol Police jurisdictional zone, conducted swattings and allowed for swattings to take place of Steve Bannon and his residence. Remember the armed robbery and burglary of Roger Stone that was live streamed by your colleagues over at Criminal News Network?
Yeah.
That we're going to take in the collective and do that, okay? It does not matter what happens in the election. It does not matter who wins the election. This is going to take place at the hands of the American people, with or without an election, and with or without whoever wins the election. I guarantee you that that will take place at the county and state level, because right now the federal government is not in a position because of its capture and its corruption. So imagine this. When you take a look at the direct messages and the geotag location data of the 350 plus members on that deep state target list, and then you curate that, Elon Musk, and then do geotagging of the communications, and then you present those communications to name the county of the 3,143 county and county equivalents in our nation.
Gotcha.
The 50 states and the 6 federal districts, right?
Wow.
And then you identify where a treasonous communication took place.
Wow.
And then
it's all starting to make sense now, even more so, right? Than Elon just buying out Twitter to liberate it. I mean, it is a huge, that shifted the tide for us in a huge way. But the on the back end, the communications and the gotcha, it would supply to so much of the corruption. Wow. And once again, like he's just stated, they set the precedence. You can't, unless a good portion of this world has clearly lost its mind. And they'll be like, you can't do that. You taught us how to do that. Okay. We're just following your example. Do you get that? So calm down. We're not going to evoke a civil war right here over this. That's a joke. And that would be a very bad move on your end. Very bad move. See where he's coming from? This is powerful. We got to get this message out. A Muzzle Chat Army, family, warriors. Let's send this like we've never sent a Muzzle Chat episode ever before. Let's continue.
And then you identify where a treasonous communication took place. And then you present that to the local DA, similar to good old Alvin Bragg. That then will create the nexus to showcase this criminal, conspiratorial, seditious conspiracy and treason charge. And that local DA, the local sheriff, will then be deputizing folks like Ivan RAKLIN and those of us that were thrown out of the military because we did not comply with the illegal DNA mutilation injection, the forced DNA mutilation injection.
Do you mean the COVID vaccine?
It's not a vaccine. These wokesters don't get it. And I see his patients to an extent doesn't necessarily get tested. He just comes to a realization, I might be wasting my time with this individual because they're clearly not educated. But he does it. He talks about it in a very profound way. Does it potentially get under this person's skin? Yeah, you could see it in her face. But like Dan Bongino would say, cutesy time is over, folks. It's time to get the ball rolling and be effective. And sitting here and catering and pondering to certain feelers or whatever. It's just like, look, do your research. And the point you're bringing intelligence back to the conversation, we'll dive back in.
I'm talking about the CCP-19 lab incident money-making scheme by Pfizer, the Pfizer fail, the Moderna mutilation, or whether it was just a myocarditis-making, heart-exploding J&J jab. So those of us that were either thrown out or left because we would not participate in the DNA mutilation of our own physiological beings, there's 80,000 of us that are ready, willing, and able in order to be deputized by appropriate sheriffs throughout the country to be participants as lawful deputies to conduct live stream swatting raids of every single person that we can identify that conducted the necessary unlawful activity by county on my deep state target list.
Perfect.
2 questions. Where did you get the 80,000 number? My first question.
Yeah. So 8,600, about 8,500 approximately, were thrown out of the military.
Okay. Because they wouldn't do the vaccine.
Because it wasn't a vaccine. The name of vaccine, the definition changed before the rollout, and it was never approved by the FDA.
Right.
There was never a product that was approved by the FDA to then be able to coerce and manipulate into other people's bodies. Don't believe me? Look at the footnote on FDA's own quote-unquote approval of Pfizer's Comirnaty. Legally distinct, and the product was never created. The Pfizer-BioNTech was created, but that one was never approved. That was only under emergency use authorization.
Right.
So I need to correct you on that one.
Good.
You need to do some more studying, ma'am, okay? Next, 80,000, okay? As far as the 80,000 goes, that's the minimum that I see of folks that left the military early through retirement, ended their careers early because of the illegal mandate that was promulgated by and enforced by the entire chain of command.
Right.
Those are also going to be, many of the members on the deep state target list are those military leaders, quote unquote leaders, I call them failures, within the Department of Defense and at the Pentagon, that will face similar consequences for forcing and coercing unlawfully the mutilation of another person's body, and thus minimizing and destroying our personal readiness
So this is
within
all
the DoD.
post-2020 people you're talking about?
Come on. Are you going to ask that question, that level of ignorance? 2016, Crossfire Hurricane?
No. I mean, I'm saying the 80,000 that you referenced.
At this point, you're wasting my time if you don't even have that level of context. Take a couple hundred hours to research the subject. Follow my work on Rumble.
It's true, though.
Once you see that, I want you to identify one thing that I have incorrect, and then you can start coming after me with questions to scrutinize it, because you have not done the necessary requisite research to for me to even give you my time. So I think that's about it.
Okay, one last question. You don't have to
It
answer.
better be intelligent.
Well, I don't guess that'll be in the eye of the beholder. You don't think, you were saying it doesn't matter what happens in the election. So you don't think you need sort of the protection of Trump's Justice Department to do some of what you're talking about?
No, because we're going after the Justice Department.
But like,
they are the enemy. That's what you fail to understand. The individuals that I mentioned are the enemy of our constitutional order. We're coming for them maximally. And how we're coming for them is because we are engaging with counties and states in order to crush them.
With via the sheriffs, basically.
The fear on her face, like, they're coming for, oh my gosh, these Republicans, this is so tyrannical, this is so scary. You've literally taught us. He's talking about doing exactly what has already been done. It's so good. It's so good.
Basically.
Crush them.
With via the sheriffs, basically.
What do you think Alvin Bragg's doing right now? Is that a federal officer? Nope. Exactly my point. Look at the counties in this country that are red versus blue. It is overwhelmingly red. So Alvin Bragg and the Dems are setting our precedent as we go on offense.
Okay. Well, thanks, Ivan.
It's going to be a doozy. And I love it when it gets spicy. And there are, again, out of the 80,000 of us, we are clamoring to be deputized by sheriffs nationwide in order to conduct the necessary live stream raids, if they want to push us to that.
So if I did want to follow up with you, and
I'll say lastly, there are over 1 million service members. I'm going to say this. Like you said, Secretary of Retribution. The Secretary of Retribution consists of 3 divisions. Number 1, the research arm. And should there be a mechanism where we create it, it's going to be the first division. Is, again, everything I'm telling you, I've already said it publicly. And I have many podcasts where I've said this. So number 1, we're going to have a research arm to continue to develop our targets. Okay. Number 2, and that's going to be staffed by January 6 defendants, family members, as well as their lawyers, since they have already kind of conducted some of that research. So they're already kind of interned, if you will, over the last 3.5 years. Number 2 will be the 2nd division, which will include the action arm, the 80,000 of us that have decades of conducting this type of activity of actioning targets overseas.
Let's go.
And the 3rd arm is going to consist of those that will live stream, independent media. Obviously not your organization, won't be included in that. But they will ride along. They will ride along and live stream the swattings and raids of the 2nd division that I just mentioned, that are properly and appropriately deputized to conduct those raids. And then the 1st arm is obviously going to be the ones that create those lists. We're just using the playbook and the precedents that has already been developed to target those that conducted lawful First Amendment activity on January 6th and everything downstream from that.
So if you say you don't need, you're not waiting for Trump's election, like when are you planning to do it?
Stand by.
That's
Just keep an eye on things.
Okay. So how could I follow up with you?
So you can follow everything I do online. Everything's public.
But like, if I wanted to ask you a question.
I advocate for these people are going to experience the most peaceful and patriotic, lawful, moral, and ethical experience of their life.
Well said.
Sliding in the rating sounds scarier than lawful and ethical and peaceful.
Once again, she's not grasping that the precedence has been set in the fear. It just blows my mind. That's why we focus so much on health on this podcast, because, I mean, it's no secret. The World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, bunch of useless eaters, they won't nothing be happy. His puppet Harari says they currently have the technology to control the masses, that humans are hackable, and they have the tech. It just makes sense as to why so many have lost their own discernment and abilities to connect dots. All of our mental abilities have been diminished. It's just a fact of living in this polluted world that's been intentionally, strategically done to diminish our function, our bandwidth, our processing. And it's just crucial on individual levels we up that so we can become whatever. Do I need to say it? Because I'm definitely very much a broken record, and I might even be annoyingly so. And if that's the case, because I don't know how all this content, if anyone were to go back to back to back, how it comes off. That is important for me to know. So please, in the comment sections, and if you don't feel comfortable for whatever reason in the comment section, reach out to me privately, DM me on any of the socials that are provided, or even email on muzzlechat@gmail.com. I'm here to refine and get better and better, and I just want to serve you to the best of my ability. Let's wrap this thing up.
Legal, moral, ethical. I said it was peaceful and patriotic. It may not be peaceful for them, but for me, it'll be peaceful.
Okay. So, but if I message you on Twitter or something?
Publicly. You can comment on me, on my posts publicly, and I'm going to post this. Again, your name?
So Chiefs.
Okay.
Ooh. Isn't that exciting? Isn't it? Now, for me, obviously, there's been a lot of hopium, okay, throughout the years. There's been talk of all these things, but for this, I mean, you heard it for yourself. That, to me, was more than just strong words. That, to me, feels as though wheels are in motion. Plans have already been made. Heck, I want to look into, because I'm here in Arizona, seeing if sheriffs around are looking to deputize citizens and patriots to help the cause. Sign me up. I'm sure there's so many that have the skill sets and abilities to ensure that this doesn't end up just talk. It is time to take our country back. It is time to clean house. It is time to rule out corruption. We can't trust in anything these days, folks. From anything anymore. Let's get some trust back. And there's only one clear path to obtain that. So let's unite. Let's up our health. Let's improve our bandwidth and our abilities to become more of the solutions we so desperately need for our children. I hope you're having a lovely Sunday. And my goodness, I hope that just fires you up like it does me. I'm so excited. We live in such a blessed time. We truly do. Those that don't feel that could have lost their connection with God. Those that don't feel that clearly are diminished and demoralized to where they just don't see a way out and aren't willing to be parts of their own solution. And not connecting that, hey, and being honest, like I'm in a diminished state. And I shouldn't feel this way. I should be seizing the day and every moment I got. We are at war. It's spiritual warfare at the root of it. That's why it's so important we draw nearer to our Creator. Historically speaking, I only know of one individual that conquered death. And there's so much evidence and documentation that proves that. In my eyes, you might even say that just supports that. But what does it take in any court of law here in the States? It takes 2 credible witnesses to be factual. There are over 500 that witnessed Christ being resurrected from death. If that's not enough evidence for someone to at least seek to understand that, I don't know what to tell you. You're keeping a door closed, which I have been guilty of doing myself. Don't get me wrong. We all do to an extent. And it's hard to walk in faith. That's why it's a forever work, just like the gym. But you're keeping that door closed to your detriment. That is your greatest champion waiting for you on the other side of that door. That being said, let's do the daily devotional and we'll wrap it up for the day. Okay, we got May 19th. I want you to know how safe and secure you are in my presence. I can testify to that. Safety, security. So much so, I don't even fear this mortal life and death anymore. It's like being reborn, and he's got you spiritually in the way that matters over this experience we find ourselves in. That is fact. Totally independent of your feelings, you are on your way to heaven. Nothing can prevent you from reaching that destination. There you will see me face to face, and your joy will be off the charts by any earthly standards. Can you imagine? We can't. Even now, you are never separated from me, though you must see me through eyes of faith. I will walk with you till the end of time and onward unto eternity. Although my presence is a guaranteed promise that does not necessarily change your feelings. When you forget I am with you, you may experience loneliness or fear. It is through awareness of my presence that peace displaces negative feelings. Truth. Practice the discipline of walking continuously with me through each day. That in and of itself will guide us to our breakthroughs and where we're supposed to be. 2 scripture references. We got 1 Corinthians 13:12. This is a good one. This one I underlined it. It made one of my favorites today. Resonated so profoundly. Now we see things imperfectly, like puzzling reflections in a mirror. But then we will see everything with perfect clarity. All that I know now is partial and incomplete. But then I will know everything completely, just as God now knows me completely. Isn't that a good one? I'll take a second and just be grateful for this moment. As hard as this whole adventure and this podcasting has been, I'm grateful for all the struggles and technical difficulties and doubt and haters. I'm blessed with this moment. The feeling I have inside due to just being in the Bible in this moment in time is just beautiful. And I hope you all get to experience that and are experiencing that. All right. Last one, we got Psalm 29:11. The Lord gives his people strength. The Lord blesses them with peace. His people strength. Those that seek him, blesses them with peace. 100%. Truth. I'm walking in it. I feel it. Every day I'm able to effectively walk in the fruit of the Spirit and in that faith and shake off my doubts and properly discern evil and his minions trying to whisper lies into me, and I'm able to acknowledge that. I get that strength. I get that peace back. I pray you all get that. We need that so greatly. Let's take a second and go over some really important things that I feel could help lead you to breakthroughs. Every single one of the affiliations we have been blessed with thus far, I believe would lead us to just that. This Lightwave product, there's just something to it, and I'm still in the beta phase. I have the X39 on as we speak. You want more information on that? Once again, go to the description below and reach out to me or reach out to Tanya. She's been a part of that company for some time, and she knows a lot. And the testimonials on that product are out of this world. You got to see them for yourself. The biomagnetic Lyme kit has also been very helpful combating my Lyme. It's resetting my nervous system, and I feel like doing other things. Check that out. Regarding the frequency, angle of attack that we are getting bombarded with, I believe Centropics products are key in fighting against all those frequencies. Be sure to check that out. Now, just know, I'm not going to sit here and list off all the discounts and whatnot that we've gotten set up. Just know you're going to be taken care of. Call to action. Patriot Mobile is the only conservative Christian mobile provider there is. So let's stop funding our enemy. And most people are saving money through them. Their service is even getting better. And they're getting a blanket of security and privacy and protection as this amazing company being their provider. It's time to be action-based, folks. We got to seize the day. So there's, even without all the personal benefits, what are we waiting for? You want to be part of the solution or continue being the part of the problem and funding our freaking enemies? And people wonder why it is the way it is. Detox your body from the metals and so many other things with Masterpiece. Single just drops. This stuff is amazing. I've seen it in my blood work and everything. My levels are getting amazing. And I've gone through very rigorous other treatment and protocols, and it wasn't moving the needle. Once I integrated this, it started moving the needle and astonishing my naturopathic doctors. Okay, check it out. If you're feeling charitable, we got the Buy Me a Coffee. Heck, I got the Cash App and Venmo. We genuinely need your support here. The GoFundMe is even on here exclusively to help fund my Lyme protocol. I am still not out of the woods, even personally. Connect with us on all the social medias. Be sure to thumbs up the episodes. Share them. Above all, you could skip all this stuff. Above all, just get the message out. Bond Charge is an amazing product. That infrared sauna blanket also detoxifies the body in ways traditional sauna doesn't. And that blanket, it's just so convenient. It's just right here in the convenience at my own time. I could just mash it out. I've even noticed 5-10 minute sessions where I'm not even dumping sweat. There's a rejuvenating factor to that. So it's like, I'll even hop in occasionally in the morning just for a quick little stint and I'll feel boost. Undoubtedly, we're going to be faced with some challenges. And as this information and as these tactics and everything take place, I can't imagine a greater threat than EMPs. They take out our electrical grid, our means of communication, and organize things of that nature, folks. We're going to be gravely suffering. I don't want you to be vulnerable in that moment. That's why EMP Shield is singularly the greatest investment you could make in preparations. Minimally, to get one on your vehicle. We're still getting $50 discounts on all their products. Order one today for your vehicle. I don't know what you're waiting for. Link is down below. And last call to action is support. Stand up now. Get this God-made shirt. Embody the very message of standing up now. Black Eagle Apparel also has amazing freedom merch. Links are down below, folks. Let's go. Time is now. I hope this excites you. Let's go. Till next time. God bless you all.